Today we're going to talk about PenFed and how you can use it as the best banking system to build or rebuild your credit. PenFed is a credit union, so you have to have a share deposit of $5. Normally you can just pay that when you are opening your first account. Now, what kind of checking accounts do they offer? Well, they have two different kinds. They have an interest-bearing one. However, you need to maintain a minimum balance of $500 a month, or you have to have $500 worth of direct deposits into that account. The second type of account that they have is pretty much all free. There's no minimum balance and there is no line item fees for the account. What are the differences between the two products? Well, for the most part, the first one is generally free all around if you use it correctly. The second one has the minor hurdle of the minimum balance or the minimum direct deposit that's required to avoid the fee. What you get in exchange for that? You get about 1/3% in interest every month on whatever you have in the account. Is that worth it? It might be different for everybody. For me personally, I'd rather have the low frills and no surprise free checking account. It'll serve my purposes later that works in tandem with their other products. So what does PenFed offer in terms of savings products? They have money market certificates, which is the credit union's version of a CD. They also have a traditional savings account, and they have a higher yield savings account. Right now, their regular savings account offers 0.05% APY, where the second savings account offers 3% APY on all funds. Both of the savings accounts are free to use, don't have any types of line item charges associated with them. So it's probably smarter to stick it in the 3%. So what lending products does PenFed offer? Well, much like other traditional banks, they offer auto loans, mortgages, refis, HELOCs, personal loans, student loans, amongst others. One of the important loans that they offer for our purposes of building credit or rebuilding credit is their Share Secure loan. What is a Share Secure loan? Well, as its name suggests, it utilizes your share of savings within their union as collateral against the loan. Now, the reason why this is important, if you have no other installment loans in your credit portfolio, this adds to the diversity or the mix of your credit, which actually improves your score. Now, how does it work? Well, basically, you have to have the funds available that equal the loan amount, and they are going to set that aside. Now, as you make your monthly payments, you will get some of those funds back in those monthly intervals. And of course, once the loan is fully complete, then you get the last of the monies. Now, how do you get one of these? Because, hey, it's not on their website anywhere. Well, you have to call. Now, it only takes about 2 to 3 minutes for them to actually do this for you on the phone. And it'll take about an hour or so for it to populate on their website when you log in. So what are the benefits of a Share Secure loan? Well, they are easy to obtain because it is a secured loan. You are utilizing your savings as collateral to obtain it. It is only a soft pull on your credit, and it's not a hard pull. So you're not going to get dinged for applying for it. Since you're already a member, it'll only require a soft pull on their end in order to facilitate it. It also only takes about 2 to 3 minutes on the phone for their customer service to implement this for you. It does have a relatively low APR for what it is. If you only take out a 12-month loan for a few $100s, you're probably paying under $20 for the entire year. And that's going to net you between 10 and 25 points at the end of your loan amount. So 10 to 25 points, might seem small, might seem large to some other people, but for the amount of money that you're paying in interest for that return, seems really good for me. And lastly, and most importantly, again, it's adding to your credit diversity and your credit mix. So you're going to have an installment loan without having to get an auto loan for 40 grand or getting a house for, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 minimum. So this is just a very easily manageable loan that you set the terms for the amount and length of time. And as long as you can abide by the requirements of that loan, then you're going to come out ahead and have an installment loan on your record for 7 to 10 years. So what credit cards does PenFed offer? PenFed currently offers 4 credit cards. They have their Gold, Platinum, and Pathfinder Rewards card. They also have a Power Cash Rewards card, and we're going to speak about that one specifically. The Power Cash Rewards card earns 1.5% cash back on all purchases in any category. And if you have a checking account with them, it increases the cash back percentage to 2%, making it a really good card for everyday use or as your catch-all if you're using a credit card system just to maximize your savings. So what credit score do you need to get this card? You're going to need at least a 660 or better to get in with PenFed for their Power Cash Rewards card. They also prefer to have some sort of history with you. So it would help you if you have one of the accounts that we spoke about previously with them for several months before applying. Now, it is a hard pull on your credit. And unfortunately, each time you ask for a credit limit increase or a CLI, it's always going to be a hard pull on your credit. So just bear that in mind. Now, what are the positives of this card? Well, we already covered that it's 1.5% cash back on all your purchases. But if you do, again, have one of their checking accounts, then that increases to 2.0% cash back on everything. And that is fairly significant. There's no annual fee. So even if you have a card with low limit and you move on to bigger and better pastures in terms of your credit cards, it's not going to cost you any money annually if you just go ahead and put it in the freezer. The APR on this card is in the mid-teens based on your credit worthiness. However, you should be paying off your credit card bill every month, making the APR a moot point to begin with. They are currently also offering a $100 credit statement if you spend $1,500 on the card in the first 90 days. Now, that turns out to be about 6 2/3% back on that $1,500. $1,500 sounds like grocery money over 3 months. So how did PenFed's financial ecosystem work out for me? Well, let me start from day one. On day one, I opened a savings account with them for $500, and out of that money, they took my $5 membership share. After 30 days, I asked for an SSL in the loan amount of $400 for 12 months, and I believe I paid about $9 in interest over the course of the year for that loan. About 2 months in, I went ahead and opened their interest-bearing checking account. I put $500 in there to maintain that minimum, and also every month I put in the funds required so that it would facilitate auto payment of the SSL, because I want those monies to return to the savings account and earn interest. Once I was with them for 6 months, I waited until my rating was clearly above 660, and I applied for their cash rewards card because now I was eligible for the 2% cash back on all that. Now, while the credit limit on it was low, they gave me $3,500. That was sufficient at the time, as I had other cards to deal with other categories of spending. And this was just a good catch-all card that everything that didn't fit in those boxes for the other cards, they would fit in lovely here, and the amount wouldn't be too much every month. So my end result was extremely positive. It is a nice self-sufficient ecosystem that they've created here, so long as you utilize them correctly and do it in the correct order. So if you're expecting to do something and fix your rating quickly, like in a month or so, that's not going to happen. All of this is like farming. You have to have some patience. You have to have some good conditions that you have some control over. But in the end, too, you need to have a little bit of luck. So as far as I can tell, this is the best system that I have seen so far in terms of how to propel your score further and have it be as low maintenance and as costly efficient as possible. So if today's video has helped you out at all, or maybe you learned a little bit something that you didn't know, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button. We're going to get more material out to you on a semi-regular basis, and we just have to figure out how to learn a whole new profession of video editing. But I'd like to thank my producer, Princess Patty Cakes, and her brother Titus for helping me get through this video. Thanks, and everybody, I hope you do well, and see you again soon.